After Empress Liu's death, the meritorious senior ministers loyal to Liu Bang joined forces to wipe out the Liu clan's power and strongly supported Liu Bang's fourth son, Liu Heng, the Prince of Dai, in succeeding to the throne. By this time, most of Emperor Wen of Han Liu Heng's 8 brothers had already been persecuted to death by Empress Liu, leaving only his 7th younger brother, Liu Chang, the Prince of Huainan. Emperor Wen, being kind-hearted and affectionate, cherished this only surviving brother dearly. The founding emperor of the Han dynasty, Emperor Gaozu Liu Bang, was a debauched womanizer, always chasing after women. Each of his children had a story behind their birth, and the upbringing of his 7th son, Liu Chang, was especially legendary. Liu Chang's mother, Lady Zhao, was originally a maidservant in the household of King Zhang Ao of Zhao. Zhang Ao's father, Zhang Er, had been a renowned figure in the state of Wei. After Qin destroyed Wei, the first emperor of Qin even offered a great bounty for Zhang Er's capture, as he was an active leader of the anti-Qin resistance. In his early years, Liu Bang had once followed Zhang Er. Later, when Liu Bang became king of Han, he infected Zhang Er as king of Zhao. After Zhang Er's death, Zhang Ao inherited his father's title as king of Zhao and married Emperor Gaozu's eldest daughter, Princess Liu Yuan, as his queen. From this, it can be seen that Liu Chang, Prince of Huainan, came from a highly distinguished and powerful background. In 200 BC, near Pingqing, at Mount Baidang, northeast of present-day Datong, Shaanxi, Liu Bang was besieged by Modu Chanyu of the Xiongnu, who surrounded him with 400,000 elite cavalry for 7 days and nights. The Han army was cut off from outside communication and reinforcements, and panic spread through the ranks. Fortunately, the strategist Chen Ping devised a plan, heavily bribing the Chanyu's wife, Lady Yan. At her persuasion, Modu opened a corner of the encirclement, allowing the Han forces to break through and regroup with their main army at Pingqing. Liu Bang narrowly escaped death in the Baidang crisis, but the disaster cost tens of thousands of soldiers their lives, leaving the proud and ambitious Liu Bang deeply troubled for years afterward. On the gloomy retreat back to Chang'an from Pingqing, Liu Bang passed through the Zhao kingdom. King Zhang Ao personally went out dozens of li to welcome him with great ceremony, escorted him into Handan, and even ceded his royal palace for Liu Bang's stay. He also presented the beautiful palace-made Lady Zhao to serve Liu Bang. After winning the emperor's favor, Lady Zhao became pregnant. King Zhang Ao did not dare recall her to his inner palace, and instead had a separate palace built for her to reside in. Zhang Ao personally attended to Liu Bang's meals morning and evening, showing the utmost humility and respect due to a son-in-law. However, Liu Bang, in poor spirits and full of arrogance, often scolded him and treated Zhang Ao with extreme discourtesy. The saying goes, when the ruler is humiliated, his ministers share the disgrace. At this time, Guan Gao, the chancellor of Zhao, was already over 60 years old. In his younger days, both Guan Gao and Liu Bang had served as retainers of Zhang Ao's father, Zhang Er, so they knew each other well. Guan Gao was keenly aware that Liu Bang had once been nothing more than an uneducated street rogue. Now, like a water ghost suddenly promoted to city god, he had risen to the throne by sheer luck and acted arrogantly beyond measure. To treat his own patron with such contempt was intolerable. When Liu Bang, without cause, publicly scolded Zhang Ao with insulting words, the upright Guan Gao, along with Zhao Wu and others, was filled with indignation and shame. Thus, after the banquet ended, Guan Gao and Zhao Wu approached Zhang Ao, urging him to allow them to kill the shameless and base Liu Bang. Hearing Guan Gao and the others' proposal, King Zhang Ao was terrified out of his wits. He repeatedly refused, declaring that all his wealth and honor came solely from the emperor's favor. How could he possibly commit such an act of treason, violating the very bonds of morality and humanity? When Guan Gao saw that persuasion was useless, he resolved to act first and report later. Together with Zhao Wu, he secretly gathered a dozen men and formed an assassination group, saying, "We were wrong, our lord is a loyal and virtuous man who refuses to betray righteousness. But we cannot bear such humiliation. Now that the emperor has insulted our lord, we intend to kill him. Our target is Liu Bang himself. If we succeed, all the credit will belong to our lord. If we fail, we alone will bear the responsibility." However, before the operation could even begin, the assassination plot fell apart. for Liu Bang had already departed in 198 BC, the assassination plot, which had never even been set in motion, was somehow discovered by Guangao's enemies, who reported it to Liu Bang. Enraged, Liu Bang ordered the arrest of all those involved in the conspiracy. On hearing the news, Zhao Wu and the others, more than 10 men in all, rushed to take their own lives. Only Guangao rebuked them, shouting, "Why are you doing this? The king had no part in the plotting, yet now they are arresting him along with us. If you all die, who will be left to clear his name?" Thus, the conspirators together with King Zhao were all placed in prison carts and escorted to Chang'an. When brought to trial, Guangao declared, "Only we were involved, King Zhao truly knew nothing of it." During interrogation, officials subjected him to brutal torture, flogging him thousands of times and piercing him with red-hot iron rods, leaving no part of his body unscathed. Yet he never spoke another word. Empress Liu repeatedly argued that, because of Princess Liu Yuan, Zhang Ao would never have done such a thing. But Emperor Gaozu, furious, retorted, "If Zhang Ao were to seize the empire, do you think he would still care about your daughter?" He refused to heed Empress Liu's advice. The Minister of Justice then reported to Emperor Gaozu on Guangao's trial and testimony. Emperor Gaozu remarked, "What a true hero! Who knows him well? Let someone inquire privately." The court gentleman Xie Gong said, "I am from the same hometown as he is and have long known him. He has always been a man who seeks honor for the state of Zhao and never breaks his word." So Emperor Gaozu sent Xie Gong, carrying the imperial tally, to question Guangao at his sickbed. Xie Gong visited Guangao, exchanging greetings and speaking with him as if in ordinary conversation, asking whether Zhang Ao had really been involved in the plot. Guangao replied, "Who does not love their father and wife? Now my entire family has already been sentenced to death because of this matter. Would I trade the lives of my loved ones for King Zhao? But the king truly was not involved, only we took part." He then went on to explain in detail the original intention behind plotting to kill Emperor Gaozu and how Zhang Ao was completely unaware of the scheme. After receiving Xie Gong's full report, Emperor Gaozu pardoned King Zhao. At the same time, Liu Bang admired Guangao's loyalty and sense of righteousness, and he, too, granted Guangao a pardon. When Xie Gong informed Guangao that the emperor had pardoned King Zhao, Guangao joyfully asked, "Has our King Zhao truly been released?" Xie Gong replied, "Yes." He added, "His Majesty also praised you, and therefore pardoned you." Guangao said, "The reason I survived despite being beaten until my body was battered was so that I could clear King Zhao's name. Now that he has been released, my duty is fulfilled. Even if I die, I have no regrets. Besides, as a minister, if I were known for plotting regicide, how could I still serve His Majesty with honor? Even if the emperor spares my life, would my conscience allow me to live unashamed?" With that, he tilted his head back and slit his throat, dying on the spot. It was at this moment that he became renowned throughout the land. Emperor Gaozu of Han praised the retainers of Zhang Ao. Every one of those who had followed King Zhang into the capital as Qian Nu, punished servants whose heads were shaved and whose movements were restricted with iron collars, eventually rose to positions such as feudal lords, high ministers, and commandery governors. Even through the reigns of Emperor Hui, Empress Dowager Ho, Emperor Wen, and Emperor Jing, the descendants of Zhang Ao's retainers continued to hold high offices with salaries of up to 2,000 bushels of grain.